effects on the.
You're watching VTV 15, your source for local government, history, and the arts.
Ready? Okay. Yeah, we'll call the meeting to order. It's exactly 5:02 now. Do we have any announcements or reminders?
The only reminder that we have is that there's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony for the Riverside soccer fields this Friday at 5:30. And yeah, we look forward to having y'all there and opening it up to the public.
So I can go to the station tomorrow and put a plug?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
That's
Please
what I,
do.
that's what I was gonna tell you.
Yes.
I forgot when you were talking. I said, man, I was gonna call you to let you know if it was all right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
then hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, I'll try to make it down there early and then just, emphasize. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank y'all.
5:30?
Yes, sir.
The soccer
5:30.
field.
The address is 1407 Red River Street, West Red River Street.
Good. I know that there's audience watching on the program. I hope that you understood that we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony this Friday, coming Friday,
Yes, sir.
at the soccer fields on the Riverside Park. And we want to invite everybody that's listening and watching the program to join us. It's going to be a great affair. Then we're going to have some refreshments, you said?
Yes, sir. We'll have a couple food trucks out there. We have some little giveaways, and hopefully we have a decent amount of folks running around on the fields.
Yeah, good. So, audience that are watching this program, we invite you once again, this Friday coming at 5:30, ribbon cutting ceremonies for our new soccer fields.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have any citizens communication? No one?
I believe was there a card or no?
They're in the agenda,
Oh, I got you.
in the agenda. Okay, none, no one. Okay, approval of the minutes. I believe everybody has the minutes. Give you a couple of minutes to review it.
So I move to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes as.
Second.
As approved, second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carried to be approved. Okay, business on the agenda, item number 1, we have the Girl Scouts Gold Project presentation, and we have a Miss Elizabeth Drain, is that correct? Miss Elizabeth Drain, okay. I'm not gonna give you your address, okay, unless you want me to. Okay, but anyway, she's gonna make a presentation as to her plans for the Girl Scouts project presentation, okay? You're on.
Go for it, absolutely.
Oh, wow, let me comb my hair. Okay, Miss Elizabeth,
Yeah, you're good to go.
okay, you're on.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Drain, and here's my proposal for a dog park in Victoria, Texas, at Riverside Park called Riverside Bark. My history as a Girl Scout. I've been a Girl Scout for 10 years now, and this time I have completed the Bronze and Silver Award. My Bronze Award consisted of 2 other Scouts and I collecting stuffed animals from the community to donate to the Hope Child Advocacy Center here in Victoria. Myself and 3 other Scouts paired with the Women's Crisis Center at Midcoast Family Services to construct different tasks to fit their needs at the time. My portion of the project consisted of seeking donations to purchase and supply hygienic products for the women and children in our community. My Gold Project. My final project of being a Girl Scout will be earning my Gold Award. I'm very passionate about animals, and I've been wanting to base my project on them for years. Once I heard about the great need of a dog park in Victoria, I had to jump on the opportunity to be the one to build a dog park. A dog park is a perfect place for animals to come off of their leashes and have a good time. The agility courses that I will provide will give owners an opportunity to train their dogs in a safe environment while also receiving socialization with other dogs. Partnership with Victoria Parks and Recreation. I've met with Jason Alfaro and Kimberly Zigmund to discuss the idea of constructing a dog park. We discussed the master plan and the possible locations of the park, while also discussing possible funding that the city has raised for the fencing and other major amenities that we may need. I would fundraise for any amenities listed in the presentation, and the Parks and Recreation team are happy and excited to help me throughout my project and supply any efforts or ideas that they may have. My love for animals. I'm very passionate about animals, and I have always loved the idea of helping them in any possible way that I can. My Gold Project, consisting of a dog park, has been sitting in the back of my mind for over 2 years now. I originally wanted to build one because my dog Bosco didn't have anywhere in Victoria to play. He passed away just over a year ago from parvo, and it was a very difficult thing to deal with. On August 10th, though, Lena, Bosco's younger sister, was born, and my neighbor wanted to give her to me in memory of Bosco. I love her like she's my own child, and I have decided to dedicate my Gold Project in memory of Bosco and other deceased and missed animals, as well as the animals we still have to remember those that are gone. There's a picture of Bosco and some pictures of Lena. Potential sponsors. The Homestead has offered to give me discounted benches and furniture that I'll need inside of the park. Local Pet has offered to help me fundraise and advertise throughout the project, and has also given me a list of signatures for people in the city that want the dog park. Lowe's has offered me discounted lumber and other building materials that I'll need for any agility courses in the park. And Adopt a Pet offered to advertise on their website for me and help me get more potential sponsors. Fundraising. I will be hosting a brick sale to raise money for any agility courses, benches, dog waste stations, etc. I will be selling bricks for $25 a piece to contribute to a pathway inside of the park in honor of or in memory of our pets. I have already made contact with many people around the community and have many buyers already lined up and waiting for me to start fundraising. Agility courses. An A-frame, stepping stones, the weave, and the dog jump. These are a few agility courses that I might include inside the dog park. Other necessities for the dogs and owners. I would need to supply a rule sign for the dog park to let owners know that they need to abide by a strict set of rules to keep the animals and owners safe at all times. A dog weigh station, shade structures, so we know how hot Texas can get, and benches. Things that I will need help from the city to purchase and install. Water stations, sidewalks, and fencing. Thank you. Do y'all have any questions?
Questions? I only have one. What is your goal as far as how much money do you plan to raise?
I think that I'll need about probably $3,000 to $4,000 to purchase all the agility courses, shade structures, anything that I'll need inside of the park.
Your goal is let's say 4,000.
Yes.
If you're willing to donate more, I'm sure she'll take it.
Yes.
You what?
So I'm sure she'll take it if you're willing to donate more.
Okay, any questions? Well,
What
Elizabeth?
what I want to say really quickly is that Elizabeth came to us, or I'm sorry, Izzy came to us, and we're really excited about this project. Obviously, we're in the master planning process, and that's getting ready to wrap up. So I think this is pretty good timing as far as looking for a place and for support. And so while we don't necessarily have the dog park lined out in our upcoming budget for funding, I think this is a really great opportunity for us to look at maybe some potential sponsorships, some donations. Obviously, working with Izzy is going to be able to help with some of that. We do have other organizations that are in town that are focused on things like this and would like to donate. And so I think this is a really great opportunity for us to revisit that internally as well as with Izzy and see what we can do to create something, here in the near future, hopefully, for a dog park. And, we can start small. We don't have to go big or go home right off the top. I mean, it can be in smaller phases, if you will. Again, I think this is the right time. I think it's a great time with us concluding the Parks and Recreation Master Plan as well.
So I have a couple of thoughts. Thank you for your presentation, and I'm sorry for the loss of your dog. But I also am very impressed with that you've been thinking about this and planning on this for about 2 years. And like Jason said, the feedback from the community is the city wants a dog park. So, and we're all behind a dog park. So how fast can we move on a dog park? Do we have to wait for the city master plan? Can we fast track it? How can we move forward with her and the city and fundraising and put some momentum behind this to get it going instead of,
And have we officially chosen where we want to put it, too?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
The Parks Master Plan identifies some potential locations for not only one, but two dog parks. But as far as, finding a location for it, no. I mean, there's recommendations, but
I always hear the Horseman's Arena, that area. What is it called? The equestrian? Yes, that area. I always hear that one.
And to be quite honest with you, I believe the Parks Master Plan identifies the dog park kind of in that empty area between the zoo and the pump house off to the right-hand side, if you will.
Okay.
So closer to that, to the drainage way. Again, that's just a concept, right? So we can place it wherever we see fit. One of the things that we're doing internally as staff is we already have a design. We already have construction documents, apparently from years ago. However, one of the issues that I've heard of is that dog park at the time was very expensive. And looking at the budget, I understand why. There's a lot of irrigation, there's a lot of turf, there's a lot of things in there that are are great to have as a want, but aren't necessarily what you need just to have a basic dog park. And so what we're doing is we're, in essence, value engineering some of that stuff out and trying to see what we can do, not necessarily just to have a fence, right, and a dog park that way, but at least to be able to bring the cost down. I mean, the cost was fairly significant, I think in the close to 200,000 range. And, that's not feasible, nor do I think the city or taxpayers want us to spend that kind of money on a dog park. So those are the things that we're going to balance out and try to accommodate, what we want as far as what we want in the dog park. And what Izzy's project will do is help us focus on the basics. Because what we've talked with Izzy about is adding all the extras, right? All of the ramps, all of the tunnels, all of the amenities, those kinds of things that make the dog park awesome and make the dog park something that people want to come to. And so that's where we think this partnership can really be great. As far as fast tracking, that's something that I would have to talk with the city manager's office about once we get down to, an easier budget to look at, and see where we can come up with some potential funding.
When are budgets due? Are they January, or October?
They're October to October. So quite frankly, here in the next 3 months, we're going to be working on the budget for this upcoming year, for this upcoming fiscal year, which would be FY 22-23.
Okay.
So can you do some value engineering between now and our next meeting? And maybe keep us updated on this so it doesn't fall between the cracks again?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
if there is a way to fast track it, even if it's a phased approach, it's because it's been in the community's mind for a very long time, and we have some momentum, so,
Absolutely.
and,
I
yeah.
think the veterinarians' offices, they would get involved in this too, and PetSmart, I mean, we could probably get just about any animal facility involved in this. Can we forward your PowerPoint to people? Can we share that?
course, yes.
Okay, and we need your contact info as well, so we can get more donations for your bricks,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, that would be great. That was one of the recommendations was for Izzy to present this to y'all. Obviously for the support and the fact that y'all know a lot of people in the community, and it would be great and beneficial for her too, just like as you said, Ashley, to be able to reach out to others. So, but we'll definitely keep that Commissioner Eder on the agenda for this upcoming months. Just make sure we got that on there.
Any other comments or questions?
I'd just like to comment real quick, if you don't mind. I think it's awesome that young people like you come in and get involved like this. And then plus the project you have, you'd be amazed how many pet lovers we have in Victoria and how many people have loved pets like that. So I would highly recommend, keep your dream going, develop a good business plan, because if you have everything all lined up, what do you think the expenses may be or what it may incur in the future? At least that way, when you present it here to Jason, he might be able to look at it and probably work something in also. So something could come up, probably with some funding or grants that may come in as well. So just keep your dream alive, and congratulations what you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I know my my advisor Brandy. She had where what state? I don't remember what state, but she there's a couple states up from us. She used to, and she came down here and told us about this whenever she heard about my need to build this dog park and stuff. And she mentioned that she was actually a big part of the fundraising and putting together of a really successful dog park up where she used to live. And so she actually recommended the brick sale because they were it worked out very well for them. And so we all really think that if the city's just able to even put up a fence for me, give me a good area to work with, that I could raise the money and put in whatever efforts I need to and get it together and make it look nice.
And get your fellow Girl Scouts involved in this too. I think that'd be
Yes.
awesome plan.
Riverside Bark is really cute too.
Thank you.
Any other remarks? Once again, thank you. A great presentation, and keep up the good work. Like Mr. Oliver said, it takes young people like you to be enthusiastic and fired up and do something for the community. So once again, thank you, and we appreciate your presentation.
Thank you for hearing it.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the, item 2 is discuss the National Fitness Campaign. So Mr. President was not able to be here with us, but I think Jason's got a little presentation that he's gonna provide for us. So Jason? Yes, sir. It's all yours, babe.
Sorry about that. We're having a little technical difficulties with my computer apparently. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you a quick video, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that at the moment. However, this is an organization. It's called the National Fitness Campaign. We printed out a couple packets. I believe you should have them there in front of you. But they have most recently started to work with TRAPS, which is the Texas Recreation and Park Society. They have been working with them to provide grants and some opportunities for local municipalities. So the National Fitness Campaign has been around, I think, since the 60s or the 70s. And it's an organization that really focuses on fundraising and having the city, if you will, or having city employees or bodies move forward with sponsorships for some of these fitness parks that can be built within, throughout the city. The fitness equipment that they have is all, there's no weights, there's no cables, there's none of that. It's very, what do you call it? I mean, it's just very, you pull, you push, you use your own weight, if you will, right, to work out. And so there's nothing really that we have to worry about as far as maintenance is concerned. The biggest thing that I think hinders, if you will, our abilities is the fact that it's a lot of fundraising and it's a lot of sponsorships. And there were some numbers in there. I think it's in one of those pieces of paper, but I think they estimated around $150,000 for sponsorships. And again, those can be very. They can be, they can go. You can go super big and super, decked out, or it can be fairly simple and not necessarily, with all the bells and whistles. But anyway, that is Mr. Keeling's, Commissioner Keeling's item, Chairman, and we can move forward with putting at the next agenda if you would like, Commissioner Rivera. But I wanted to at least provide you with some information, so you could, at least have a little bit to look at, and I'm not sure what Chairman Keeling wanted to actually, speak about in that regard, but at least you have a little information to be able to go off of for next month. That's all I have.
Questions? I know that it's hard for Jason. Okay, I guess we put it on the agenda for next month, right, Jason? We'll put that on the agenda for next month, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go to item number 3. Discuss and take appropriate action on changing regular scheduled meeting date in October.
Yes, so we were looking at the calendar, and of course, in October, we want to be able to have half associates present something to you in regards to the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I say present something to you, but I want them to present the entire plan to you at that time, so that way you can digest it and, give your support or not at that moment. We will be sending the additional chapters in the interim, so we're working with half on that. We should be pushing out Chapter 4 to you pretty soon. So getting back around to the date, we're looking at the calendar. We meet on the second Monday, but Kimberly and I will both be out of town during that week attending a sports conference. And so we're not going to be able to make that meeting. And what we want to ask of the commission is if you would be kind enough to be able to move that meeting to maybe the Monday of the 18th, if anybody is available.
Monday night?
Monday the 18th. So instead of Monday the 11th, October the 11th, we would request that we move the meeting to Monday, October the 18th. Okay.
Second it.
Cannot? Okay.
No conflict.
No, you're good? Commissioner Rivera,
Sure.
are you available on the October the 18th?
No, if I get a heads up, normally I work on those on Mondays, but I can get somebody to take care of me, so.
Okay. Is there another date that may work better? We don't want to push it too far down the line, but because our hope is that we can bring the entire Parks and Recreation Master Plan to City Council sometime in November for adoption. But we also want to have time in between the time that you meet with HAF and the time that we actually take it to City Council. If there are any issues that HAF can make adjustments, we can send those adjustments to you so you can take a look at it and be comfortable with it, and then we can move forward with the City Council adoption.
Are you set on a Monday or can it be on a Wednesday?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I just need to be able to
Can
make
we have
sure
an
that I
alternate
have.
date just in case, like a Wednesday? I thought this worked out pretty good.
Do you have any input from the other commissioners yet? Should we just
I-
table it until?
Well, I can't table it until next time because, yeah, that'll run into one of our meetings. So that's the reason why we want to push something out at this time. If you're okay with just moving to either Monday, the 18th, or Wednesday, the 20th, I can send out an email to the commission like we did last time and just see, make sure that we have a quorum, A, and then B, I need to make sure that Christian Lentz with HAF has the availability as well.
Quick question, are you guys still out of town on the 13th? Instead of waiting a whole week?
I don't have my, just
Because
one
our meeting would
moment.
have been on the 11th, so moving that Wednesday would have been the 13th, just,
Yes, ma'am, we're out that whole week.
okay.
Yes.
So then let's do the alternate as the 20th. I'll be here back for that.
Okay. So it sounds like we're good. We can go ahead and move it, and I'll send out an email to the commission after this and just simply ask if the other 18th or the 20th would work, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is that going to be like a 2-hour meeting, 3-hour? How long do you expect?
That's a loaded question.
Right?
Christian can go on all night. I don't know. No, I quite honestly, I think it would probably be a solid hour and a half meeting, if not two. We do have a few items on that agenda in addition to the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, but I don't feel like those would take a whole lot of time. Awesome. That's easy. Thank y'all.
We got either the 18th or the 20th.
We're gonna make
Does that
record
give you
time.
plenty of time, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Either 18th or 20th, that'd be sufficient for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll, like I said, I'll send out an email to the commission and just verify which one will work best for everyone.
Are you gonna be tied up the 19th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything? Okay, I guess go item number 4, the department update.
We're rolling through this quick, man. This is crazy. So yeah, I just have a few slides for you. Yeah, and we'll go through them really quickly. So the parks over this past month, I know what I try to do, just to give you a heads up, is obviously we meet the next month, right? It's almost a month and a half at this point. But this is for everything that we've done in August, pretty much. So the parks, we have been in the process of receiving facility updates for TAF. We have identified some facility updates, and City Council has been supportive, and we've been able to move forward with some funding for those sports facilities for TAF. And so we've identified those internally, and we've already been working with contractors to receive quotes. And our hope is to get a good chunk of some of these smaller projects completed before the TAF Winter Games on MLK weekend of this upcoming year. We've also been working with KVB, Keep Victoria Beautiful, to secure a tree donation from Apache Corporation. For those that may not know about the Apache Corporation, I believe it's an oil corporation, but they are very vested in donating back to communities in regards to trees. For instance, when I was working for the city of Bastrop, when we had the 2011 wildfires, the Apache Corporation donated 2 reefer trucks of trees to the community. So we had over 4,000 trees to hand out to the community, thankfully from the Apache Foundation. So we're looking forward to receive news about that grant, hopefully in the next coming weeks. One of the biggest things that we've been doing over the course of the last month and a half or so is we actually started collecting data associated with some of our staff hours. Now, I know that may sound a little interesting or what? Are you trying to hold people accountable? Yes. But I'm also trying to figure out where our efficiencies and deficiencies are at. And so we can't do that without finding out where we spend our time. And so that's something that we need to focus on a little bit better in our Parks Department. And so we've been implementing that strategy, if you will. So, for instance, I can tell you last week we spent about 180 hours at the soccer fields, in preparation of some things. And so, those are kinds of the things that we need to focus on. We need to figure out where we can be better. And so that's a really big step. I think after we get a few months together, I'd like to provide that data to you, just so you can get an idea of, what the Parks Department actually takes care of and where some of their hours tend to be focused on. And of course, we have the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. We do have an update that's going to be at City Council. There's a City Council workshop set for this Friday from 1 to 4. We will be there with HAF presenting an update to City Council. We have provided Chapter 3 to y'all. I'm not sure if you've had any comments or suggestions for me. If so, please feel free to shoot me an email so I can send it over to HAF. But we also reviewed Chapter 4 and wrapped that up earlier this week. Sent our comments back over to HAF, and so we should have that hopefully next week sometime to distribute to the commission. So after that, it's really Chapter 5 that has just a lot of grant information and some other things, and so they're already working on that and are pretty much wrapped up.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I did read Chapter 3.
Okay.
So at the end of the master plan, will they provide the city with a list of recommendations? Because I noticed that the recommendations are sprinkled throughout here, and I started highlighting, and I just kept highlighting, and so I thought it'd be really good to have like either a summary or a synopsis with where all the recommendations are.
Yes, they should have a recommendations list at the end. In addition to that, they're going to focus on some of those costs that are associated with it, and so they'll have cost estimates as well with every single park that we have. You'll actually see that more so in Chapter 4.
Okay,
That's where you're going to have a bulk of that.
okay. I thought Chapter 3 was very thorough.
Yes.
And I was really impressed of all the different items and categories they touched on. Even from you were talking about your staffing or in the whole department, in the comment there that you were somewhat, in total, understaffed, and that your mix could, perhaps your mix could be changed, so, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
In dollars, it was good.
Good. I'm glad. Sorry, y'all. I've been talking with a lot of my employees over the last couple of days, and so my voice is going out a little bit, and I've been trying to recoup. Today, I told Jessica, no talking. We're not all emails today. So anyway, I apologize. Any other questions on the Parks Master Plan before I continue to move forward? Okay. So landscape work still continues over at De Leon Plaza Library and City Hall. You'll see some work going on over there. And again, just as a friendly reminder to everybody, the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Riverside Soccer Fields is going to be this Friday at 5:30. One of the graphics that I wanted to point out to you is on the right-hand side. This is the Duck Pond project. We're actually wrapping this up right now as far as construction documents. So we've already received a full set of construction documents from Luck Design just this week, and we've already started to review that internally with various departments. But I wanted to at least show you a map or an image, if you will, of what the Duck Pond would end up looking like. We have a second phase that we haven't included within this entire project, which actually, can't really hover over it, but you'll notice that you remember where the old water fountain or that pump was at, right? Where the little rocks were that you walk across the water. So you can kind of see how it bends, and that sidewalk or that hatched area kind of stops. And then it looks like there's another connection, and it goes towards the golf course. That's part of a phase two that we've went ahead and included within this plan. So we can get some solid numbers on it and see if we're able to do this all together at one time. Our intention is to create a fully looped system around the duck pond versus just having two dead ends like we had in the original scope. And so I just wanted to point that out to you. There's some minor things that have happened as far as the gazebo. So on the right-hand side, you can see the gazebo shifted a little bit to the south, and the fishing pier shifted a little bit to the left. That was intentional as well, not only because of proximity, but also because of the view that you'll have off of the gazebo if people are going to take pictures. We wanted to make sure that that was out of the backdrop. And so I wanted Luck Design to really focus on that. The other big thing here is that there's some overhead utilities in that area, and we're going to be looking to put those underground. But any questions on that? Recreation. So there's been a lot of stuff going on in recreation. It's really great. One of the biggest things that has helped us out a lot is the fact that we've hired 2 recreation coordinators. I came to you last month and I told you we were down with recreation coordinators. Well, we're fully staffed again as far as rec coordinators are concerned. What we did was we took them and had them focus in separate areas, one focusing on events, one focusing on recreation programs, and another one focusing on athletics. And it's doing phenomenally. We have hosted the kayak clinic, flow paddle. Thank you.
Thank you.
We initiated a new program called the Victoria P&R Rocks. And so you might, if you're out in the trail, walking around in any trail or any park, you may see a rock with a message on it. And they're supposed to be very positive messages and uplifting. And we've had a tremendous uptick in our office with people coming by and just painting rocks. So it's pretty awesome. Additionally, there's a picture on that bottom left-hand corner where one of our recreation coordinators partnered with the YMCA and went to their after-school program and worked with their kids to help create some rocks too, or paint rocks. We also installed and held an event for the Born Learning Trail over at the Will Rogers Park. We worked with United Way on that. That's the bottom picture. You can see Kimberly and a few others out there, Jenna. And so that's over at Will Rogers Park. We had a decent amount of folks that came out and just played some games. And so we're really excited about that. We also initiated a new program with the Victoria Library. It's called the Story Trail, and it's over at Riverside Park as well. So there's some pretty cool pictures on social media with Hoot the Owl, I believe is his name, or her name, and it's really great. So we've had some pretty positive comments about that, and just working with the library on that program. And of course, we've held various tournaments over at the sports complex, some that I can't even name off. There's been so many. So we do have a cornhole league that is coming up at the community center annex. I believe it starts either started this week, next week. We'll also be supporting police department with a pop-up trailer for their National Night Out event. And then one of the last things, staff will be presenting a TAF update, a city update to the TAF annual meeting. So we're still working on that behind the scenes, and I'm just grateful for all the support that we have from the various departments. Any questions with rec before I move on?
Do you have a date on that pop-up for National Night Out for PD?
Not right off the top. I can
been
get that for
scheduled?
you. Let me get to my computer afterwards, and I'll get that for you. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? Okay. Okay. We'll double check, but Jessica was saying that potentially next Friday for the National Night Out, but we'll double check on that. The golf course has been doing really well. I believe Commissioner Billingsley caught me off guard last time and asked me about the $84,000, I think it was, or whatever number, can't even remember. But the total to date for the month, and that's the end of the month for August, was $113,864 brought in. That's not revenue, although it is revenue, but it's not truly what we've gained. We typically spend about $84,000 a month on expenses, so you could just back that out and kind of get an idea of what we net. We are on track. I can tell you this much: we are on track to be really close to $1.2 million this year. It's a really big push from the golf course, and they've been doing an excellent job. I won't go through all those numbers, but I did just want to give them to you. With some of the numbers I do want to mention though are the rounds. So our tournament rounds, we had 120 of those. That went down a little bit from last month. We had 232 rounds over at the practice course for a total of 2,890 rounds, which was up from last month by a couple hundred rounds. This Saturday? National Night Out is this Saturday? Okay, so National Night Out is this Saturday. Thank you, Jessica. At De Leon Plaza. So please, if y'all aren't doing anything else, come on by and have some fun at the pop-up park, De Leon Plaza, supporting police department on their National Night Out. So going back to golf course, we did last month, I believe, we were waiting on the range picker. We did receive that. That's helped out tremendously. Staff appreciates that. And so they're super excited that we have that. One of the issues that we've been having, I'm not too sure if you have as well, I see the head nod, but our range balls. We've had those on order for a while, and I think due to the pandemic, there's been a lot of delays. And so that's just one of the areas that we've seen delays in as well. So we do still have enough to be able to make it. We've actually got people donating some of their old balls for us, but we are making it. And then we are still working to add the golf cart GPS to our golf cart fleet, but we are just kind of wanting to review a few other numbers before we continue to move forward with that project. A couple dates here, and of course, we're already past some of these, but 9/9, we had the final Thursday Scramble, we had the Monarch Golf Tournament, and upcoming on the 25th, we have the Knights of Columbus.
Quick question on those numbers,
Yes, sir.
Jason. Just, I'm looking at the one that sticks out is food sales grill, like $53 one day, $18 another day. Total for the month of $1,600.
Yes, sir.
Is that something, I've never been there, is it open to the public? Is it just for golfers?
It is, but there's no grill per se. I mean, it's more of your snacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, when I see grill, I kind of think like that's not supporting itself.
Yeah, we need to look at changing that verbiage.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have a question too, like with the GPS, what are y'all intending to use? And will it just to be, like, keep track of them on the course?
Yeah, so the GPS is a really unique feature. Does a lot of things. So if we did have a grill, you could order from the GPS itself. So it's a monitor that would hang, from the golf cart, and it would show distance. It shows flyovers. It shows where you're at on the course. If it's cart path only, it doesn't allow you to go onto the green or into any of the fairways or anything like that. So there are certain parameters that we can put to help staff, with trying to find some of the carts. Honestly, sometimes we have carts that are not where they should be, and that tends to be an issue. We don't have marshals, and so what that will do will hopefully help us out with patrolling, if you will, our own fleet. One of the things that we did when I was in another city and we had GPS is we put a TV screen up in the pro shop. And so there's a really cool visual for when they walk in and they can see all the golf carts kind of all over the place. Like, oh, okay, it's a busy day, or not too bad. And so it's we can put advertisements on there. I mean, there's just a multitude of things that we can do with those.
That's cool.
It also allows your spouse to see if you're really on the 11th hole, right?
No comment. We'll find a way around that, sir. Any other questions? Okay. And last but certainly not least, we have the community center. So for the August rentals, we had 6 from the city, and we had 12 that were non-city. Some of the city rentals, it included city council meetings, parks and recreation department meetings, and just other various departmental meetings. Some of the non-city rentals included some weddings, some Sweet 16s or quinceañeras, and some craft shows and events and those types of things. So one of the biggest things right now for the community center is their HVAC system. Believe I mentioned it last time that we were going to be going out for an RFQ for some HVAC services. So we're able to select a vendor, M&S Engineering, and we presented that to council last night, and they approved that contract. So we're going to move forward with M&S Engineering for design of a new HVAC system for the dome over at the community center. So that's going to help a lot with our AC issues, with our heat issues, or lack thereof, and really help us not return so many rental fees and deposits and be able to keep that. And so it's just going to be great all around. So it'll be cold when it's hot and hot when it's cold. Other than that, we're still continuing to work with the Recreation Division to utilize the facility for more recreation opportunities. Again, we have the Cornhole League that'll be starting up over there next week. We're still in conversation about the RC cars. We're wanting to continue to push forward with that. We're just running into a little budgetary items that we need to address, and we'll hopefully be able to jump over those hurdles here within the coming months. So, any questions on community center? Man, this is world record 5:45, and that's all I have. Yes.
Last time it came up, where are you guys on the engineering issue with the splash pad? And the concrete issue?
Oh,
Is it the one over at the community center?
man, that's a really good question. I am not sure, Commissioner. I will have to check with Kimberly. I was out the first half of September, and so me trying to play catch up and then her leaving out of town didn't help. So let me touch base with her and see where we're at, and I'll provide an update to the entire commission.
I know it was an issue, or it was a concern at the last meeting from
Yes, ma'am.
Jason, Commissioner Urbana. And then, what was I going to say? Sorry, it slipped my mind.
How much longer are they open, the splash
That
pads?
was my question.
Oh, awesome. I got you.
So it'll be the last weekend in October.
Okay.
And I was going to mention that to be quite frank with you, I doubt that the community center splash pad would be finished by that time or fixed, because I quite honestly, I haven't seen anything come through my emails or conversations about it, but it would be ready to go for next year. I definitely want to make sure that we have all three of those up and running.
Yeah, I know you had to go through an engineering setting, probably an RFQ before that to even get that. I mean, I know there's some steps to it. I just wondered if
yes.
you had an update.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and we are working on an RFQ with our purchasing department for the Riverside splash pad. And we already have the RFQ out. There's just some back and forth, some minor details that we're going to need to fix before we push it out. Hopefully that'll go out here within the next couple of weeks.
Was it the splash pad that we were going to rename to Brother Gary? Or do you remember was it that?
Yes, it was the community center one.
The community
The
center one?
community center splash pad.
So maybe
Yes,
once
ma'am.
we get that fixed, then we can do that renaming and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we can do a small ribbon cutting at that time if we want.
Okay.
And we could invite Mr. Moses over too, and
We are
Make
gonna
it
name the
legit.
splash pad for Gary Moses.
yeah, we still need to go to council, but we already have the support of the commission for that, and so it's just a matter of going to city council and making that recommendation. Which, with your support, I don't know if there would be a whole lot of conversation behind it.
Don't want to forget about it, right?
I had someone from the board on the symphony approach me about the duck race.
Okay.
They're concerned with, I guess, landscape cleanup around the area of the duck race. Frost, I guess, is sponsoring this event, and they just wanted me to bring that up and make sure that,
Sure.
the Parks was gonna be involved in making the area ready, I guess, for that. I think that's in November.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a very good point. We have been in contact with William, I believe, and
Frost?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. And there is a little confusion in some of the emails, and so what we did is we contacted William, and we're clearing all of that up. But yes, we will be involved with that in some way, shape, or form. We will make sure that it's cleaned up. What we're trying to work with them on is not necessarily partnering events, but having events that help each other out. So, bring people to our event that'll basically, once our event ends, it goes right into their event and vice versa.
Right.
And so we are working with them on that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
if you need some help with the communication, reach out to me and I can try to step in if you like.
Okay, I
Right,
appreciate
and
it.
same here. I'm working directly with them as well. So we'll be
Okay.
doing the kayaks, like picking up the ducks again, and then we'll have to open up that little, I call it Little Beach. So
Yes.
the Little Beach before Pebble Beach, and I think I have a key now to do that. So, I think. So we'll get down there and, because we'll have to do the dump truck down there. And I don't know what they need cleaned up. Probably they just.
Talking
mowed-
about mowing the banks
They
and
mowed
things
that-
like that, basically.
Yeah, I think there was a little trim up
Right.
on the trees
I don't know,
or something
trees,
too.
grass,
so-
right?
If you need
just-
help with that, I can help as well. Like, I mean, going along and, hey, this area or whatever.
Okay,
Let me know.
all right, sure
I can
thing.
get more specifics if you like. It was just a quick conversation.
Yeah, no, we're having conversations with them.
Okay.
And most recently, it was either earlier this week or late last week that I touched base with Kimberly about it. So
Okay.
we will continue to work with them and make sure that they have a successful event.
Okay, sounds
Yes, sir.
great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jason, I had someone ask me where they could find a copy of rules for city parks. And so I was able to find them on the city website, basically under some section and code and I couldn't, is that the only place it's posted? Is that the right place to send them?
Do they want all of the?
They just wanted
Or
to
just a
know what was allowed and what wasn't allowed, and it's one of those things, they asked me if I knew, and I'm like, no, but I can find out.
I'm not sure. I know we don't have all of our rules and regulations on our Parks Department page, but that's something that we can look at. I know we have ours and we have a few other, kind of hot topic ones, if you will. But I'll take a look and see if we can add something to our page. Maybe we can add like a sub-page to it that has all of our park rules and just have them all listed out.
Yeah, I found the section in code and was able to print it out, but, yeah, so.
Yeah, and code's not fun to look up.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to look all that verbiage up. So yeah, we'll take a look at it. We'll work with IT and see what we can do about creating maybe a subpage or some kind of a link that has all of the park rules and regulations.
I mean, it's something that it's probably tied also to the master plan. I mean, that seems like it might be one of the recommendations to consolidate the park rules, and I don't know, I mean,
Yeah,
Found rules concerning like pavilion rentals about.
well, that and like park hours, what's allowed inside of a park.
Right.
Can they, crowd size, can they barbecue, can they bring their own barbecues? I mean, it was just, what's allowed and I guess what's allowed, what's not allowed. Kind of like, I'm gonna call it general rules of operation, or,
yeah, I'm thinking more like alcohol, glass
Yeah,
bottles,
yeah.
open fires, those kinds of things.
Right.
Camping, kind of the
Yeah.
general ones that we would probably
like
typically answer.
behavioral stuff and smoking, not smoking,
Right.
so.
I actually asked that not too long ago. I was like, hey, do we even allow smoking in your playgrounds? And
Yeah.
they just looked at me like, what?
I know.
Oh, never mind. I
When I
guess
was
we
a
do.
kid, someone was smoking at the playground and it caught the playground equipment on fire at Riverside. So, yeah, like it was a whole ordeal because it was underneath the equipment. It caught the plastic on fire. So, yeah, it needs to be so far away from playgrounds.
Yeah, and just the fact that, just the health of the kids and, it's a lot of what parks departments are doing. Very similar to the buildings, right? You can't smoke more than 25 feet or something like that from a building entrance. So we can definitely look at that as well in the future and see what kind of things we need to update like that.
I just bring it up because I got asked, so.
Well, we'll look at creating a quick link for it so that way it's a little bit easier to navigate.
That's great.
That way you don't have to go through codes.
Okay, now we'll go to the future agenda items.
All right.
Do we have anything for next month other than the discussion of fitness?
What else did we have on there, Jessica? We had one more thing, didn't we? Okay. That's all we have is the National Fitness Campaign for next month. We have, of course, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And then I'll have a resolution ready for you regarding the Honor 361 to be placed in the parks. And yeah, I think those are the only three that I can think of right off the top, unless y'all have anything that you'd like to add.
Are you guys still planning on having the Halloween trick-or-treat drive-through thing like last year?
We are planning to have a Halloween event. I didn't add that to this, but I don't believe it's going to be drive-through like that.
Okay, so you're planning an event.
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be a drive-in movie, if I can remember correctly.
All right, that's,
At the
yeah.
community center?
You're planning an event, details to follow. Got
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
I think I saw that. Is there like a kid's movie first? And then an
Yes.
adult horror movie second?
Coco, and they're voting on the second, a scary movie.
Yeah, there were
So,
like
kid and adult.
Carrie and.
The
yeah, I saw
Conjuring is
that.
winning, I think.
And
Conjuring?
I think so.
trunk or treat. Yes.
Yeah,
So
no
it'll
more
be
drive,
trunk or
no more
treat.
drive-through, drive, none of that. No, we're drive in and that's it.
Okay, with no further items, and this meeting is adjourned.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Talk, Season 2, Episode 4.
I'm sorry.